Oh, hey, I'm so glad you could join us at the space park for our lesson today. I was just telling the boys, NASA has breaking news. Picture this, you're 250 miles above Earth aboard the International Space Station, and suddenly someone gets sick.
Like my tummy hurts sick?
No, not exactly. Like sick enough where NASA's going to do something it's never done before. They're going to do an early medical evacuation.
Is everyone okay?
We don't know yet.
What happens when you get sick in space?
Stick with me and you'll find out what happens when you get sick. And there's no ambulance, no hospital, no doctors, and no gravity. Follow me.
Right now, NASA is planning to bring the full crew home earlier than scheduled because of a medical concern affecting one of the crew members. NASA says the person is stable, but they need better diagnosis and treatment than the ISS can provide.
It must be serious.
Well, here is what we know. There was a medical concern reported in the beginning of January, and it was concerning enough that NASA and SpaceX got together and created a return plan for the crew.
Do they know which crew member it is?
Of course they know, but NASA isn't saying who it is or what happened because medical privacy still exists, even in space.
Getting sick in space is the same as getting sick on Earth. What happens if you blow your nose?
Well,
on Earth, if you get a cold, you might feel a little sniffy. But in space, your body acts differently because of the lack of gravity. The fluids in your body shift upwards, which means more fluids in your head and chest.
Ugh.
That can make astronauts feel like they have the worst stuffy nose ever, and like all of allergy season moved into their skull. But that isn't the really weird part.
What is that?
Your balance system freaks out. A lot of astronauts experience space motion sickness in the first days. Nausea, dizziness, and vomiting, no matter the cause of the illness, because your brain and inner ear are arguing about what up even means.
Is there a doctor on the International Space Station?
not exactly. There's a medical officer who is trained in medical procedures and to coordinate with Earth-based doctors.
How do they do that?
Well, there's a team of medical doctors at NASA at Mission Control that help advise and guide care. But don't worry.
Astronauts aren't just scientists and engineers. They are also trained for medical problems too. Because when someone gets sick in space, everyone has to chip in.
Why is NASA bringing home the whole crew early if only one person is sick?
That's a very good question. You see, the ISS runs like a carefully balanced chessboard. The spacecrafts docked to the space station aren't just Ubers that take the astronauts back and forth. They are also emergency lifeboats. NASA decided that there wouldn't be enough seats for the remaining astronauts if an emergency occurred, and they sent one home early and mostly empty. The leadership at NASA has only said that the key to the medical issue is that the ability to properly diagnose and treat the condition does not exist aboard the ISS, and that performing a routine, fully controlled return is the best way to get the affected astronaut to full medical resources faster.
So what's the evacuation plan?
That's another good question. The plan that NASA and SpaceX announced set a target date for the crew to leave the space station around 5 p.m. Eastern Time on January 14th, with re-entry to Earth and splashdown expected early morning on January 15th.
So when you get sick in space, your body reacts differently and fluids move upward, and your balance feels weird?
Yes, and don't forget, the crew is medically trained, there are supplies, and there are Earth-based doctors that help guide care.
Only in the case of serious medical situations would NASA choose a controlled early return. But even if the astronaut is stable, when you're 250 miles away from Earth, let's just wait and see attitude is a terrible plan.
Thank you so much for joining us today while we unpacked what would happen if you got sick in space.
I'm really glad you came along. Mom, can they stay for our story?
Of course, we were just about to get back on track and talk about what would happen if the sun ever burned out. Follow me.